Hey there, RWBY fans! Welcome to another edition of the RWBY After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're talking about Volume 4, Episodes 11 and 12, Taking Control and No Safe Haven. Guys, it's the end of the season and we have so much to talk about. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I don't know about you guys, I'm going to be so sad to have this theme go when we go to next season.
It's not on your iPod?
I have the song, but I mean like this opening, this intro, we're losing it after this season.
I will be excited to see what they come up with next season though, because they've all been amazing.
That's very true. That's very true. The openings keep getting better and better, just like the show keeps getting better and better.
Yep.
Well, hello, RWBY fans! Welcome to another episode of the RWBY After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we are talking about the last two episodes in this volume, episodes 11 and 12, Taking Control and No Safe Haven. Let's not waste any time. Let me go ahead and introduce our fantastic panel. To my left, Mark Donica.
Hello, I'm the internet Mark B. Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. I'm excited to talk about these last couple episodes. I rewatched the finale just ago, and I've been in a RWBY space for like the past week since the finale.
Yeah, and we're gonna mention a few, like your interview a little bit.
Yeah, a whole bunch of fun these past couple of days. To my left, not Patrick Dees, because he's not picking up his phone. We hope he's okay. He's not responding to his phone, but hopefully, if he's late, we have a spot for him. But next to where he's supposed to be, the wonderful Katie Cullen.
Hi, all my buddies. You can find me on the social medias at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. And running this crazy train, Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, you can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. We are also going to be keeping an eye on the hashtag RWBYABTV because it is the best hashtag that AfterBuzz has. And it was also the first, so that's why the letters are reversed. And I believe Katie's got her eye on the live chat.
I do.
And great. So yeah,
Chad
please.
is very happy about Mark's mic.
I have
And
no
says
idea.
hello to all of us.
Isn't it
No idea
so
what they're
cute?
talking about. Had to do it.
Is that from your unboxing earlier this week?
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
Oh,
but,
okay,
yeah.
great. Something I want to go ahead and point out, just because people, I'm sure, are probably going to be wondering about it. We also have these lovely shot glasses here, filled with Writer's Tears, which is the whiskey of choice of the
kind
RWBY
of the official whiskey of RWBY
Is
writing.
it the unofficial official?
Isn't it
Something like that.
Isn't it all of Rooster Teeth because of Red versus Blue as well?
No, it's specifically been given to the RWBY writers by Farley. Hi, Farley. I don't think she's watching right now because it's Ireland, and therefore it's the middle of the night.
I would be very concerned if she was watching live right now.
But she has a habit of bringing a bottle of Writer's Tears to the writers at every RTX. So Miles and Carrie benefit from that, and then usually tweet about how it's 2/3 of the way gone and they're only through episode 2. So I'm
sure they went through like an entire giant bottle of it per episode this volume.
And she was kind enough to bring us a tiny bottle of Writer's Tears, and that is what we have here. And we are preparing a toast as soon as we get our fourth member.
We're passable.
Yeah, these shot glasses were given to me by my brothers for Christmas this year.
Oh, that's so cool.
So thank you, Justin.
Were those
Thank
from,
you, Alex.
Puppy Bow Productions?
You know, I don't know where they got them. I would love to give a shout out to whoever they got them from, but I was just given them, so I don't know. So I will check with them and tweet out their, I'm sure, Etsy link, because these are just wonderful and they fill me with so much joy.
Well, if they are Puppy Bow, it's PUPPYBAO. I had them make me a flask, actually.
Oh,
It has Gengar
that's
on it
awesome.
because that's where I keep my spirits.
Boo.
Or my booze!
All right, well, let's get right into it because I feel like that's enough preamble. Let's talk about these episodes. It's the end of this particular volume. And this volume, this volume as a whole has been a little bit pacing-wise, it's been different, and, you know, the focus on certain characters that we've seen has also been, you know, a step in a different direction, especially with all of the girls being separated. I want to know, guys, initial thoughts on this final episode of the season.
I liked that we had, just for the volume overall, I liked that we had the parallels to Volume 1 in terms of scale, in terms of pacing, in terms of exposition. Because in Volume 1, we had a lot to learn about the world and about the school itself, and here we are out in the wider world in 3 or 4 different areas of it, and have a ton to learn as well. So I was perfectly okay with taking it a little slower, with having a lot more exposition and a lot more character introduction, and with having our final fight be, in as far as the world overall, be lower stakes. It's very high stakes personally because Jim and Randall were not fun people to get along with.
You're gonna have to explain
Those
that.
are
No
the
one here has
names.
context for
those,
that.
Those are the names of the Knuckle of E. Jim is the one up top and Randall's the one down bottom.
Didn't we name them on a previous episode?
We've just been calling it Satan Horse, but we named it in a reaction. She came up with the names. That they are Jim and Randall.
All right.
Because it's no longer scary if it's Jim and Randall. Let's
Which
be real.
I'm all in favor of it being scary. If anybody else has any other suggestions for what the name of the Knuckle of E should be, please share them in the comments below.
Satan Horse.
Satan
Horse
Pony.
has been kind of the going. But yeah, so I was okay with having this fight be dramatic and wonderful and very personally important, but not world-changing overall.
That's those. I think that those are some good comments, Mark.
The final fight was a callback to the top of the season where we saw how the team of Ranger, however you want to refer to them, Junior, Orange, Ranger,
I
whichever.
think Team Ranger is better.
100%. But we've seen how they've evolved through not too much action, a lot of walking. It was the Lord of the Rings season.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Yeah.
I just found the best name for this. Kratos Irving says, I prefer lanky and stanky.
For the Knuckle of E? Yes! Not Heckle and Jekyll or
I'm keeping Jim and Randall, but lanky and stanky is a beautiful creation.
Tweedledee and
Thank you.
Tweedledum. But yeah, it was very Lord of the Rings. It was, and that's why at the top of the season we were talking about like fantasy epics, because this was very Lord of the Rings. Like this entire season was all about getting to Haven, and again, now that we've gotten to Haven, it is almost like, you know, exhaling a little bit of like, oh, we finally got to where we're going. Like, now what step do we take from here? So for me, I also appreciate the slower pace of the season, the additional exposition for world building purposes, especially with all of the newer characters being introduced with the larger world. As far as, and yeah, I was starting to think of like, oh, we're never going to get to Haven because there's just so many obstacles in the way. There are mountains, there are Satan horses, there's so many things. So actually getting to see Haven at the end of it, it did feel very satisfying actually getting to our destination. Yep. All about the journey this season. Okay, I do want to ask. Let's step back from Haven a little bit. I want to touch base with the evil egg of evil a little bit. I don't think I like their physical therapy program. I don't think I approve of it in any way, shape, or form.
Just crying yourself to sleep on top of a desiccated Grim is not really a good way to spend your nights. Especially since the Grim disappears halfway through and then you wake up cold on the floor alone like you usually do. And
I actually think he probably feels much better now.
Are we? Who are we talking about?
She's
Tyrion.
I was
to
talking
sleep,
about.
like, what,
I
are we
was talking
sleeping?
about.
Like-
I was talking about Cinder initially because I don't.
Oh,
I personally
yeah.
don't think that starting up training is the best way to heal, or whatever sort of evil demon magic Salem has put in her to like make her an ultimate powerful warrior. I feel like it's gonna cost her soul and
but
or
we're on a timetable.
yeah, there are things to do.
That sort of training doesn't matter anyway. She's not going to be fighting Grimm. She's going to be fighting people, and people have varying degrees of power. Whereas we've seen Grimm, they've got a limit. Like
she's injured and she can slice them in half, no problem.
and that doesn't mean she can like. And having an illusion and referencing the
Not the
episode 12
same. Not the
not
same.
at all. And how did they know that Ruby changed costumes?
People are pointing that out in the chat
spies?
as well.
Yeah,
Just like Kanye.
I mean,
show.
after Tyrion had his little temper tantrum, maybe he explained, "Oh, by the way,
but
she's
she had
a
this
completely
cute,
different."
cute little corset and this new cape.
I hate her, but I love the hood.
That style, though.
That style,
The
though.
thing about Tyrion, though, is he knows how much power it would take to kill a Grimm, and that wasn't his tantrum. Wasn't about killing it. It was about
Feeling better.
shouting into the pillow.
Yeah. Like I
Like a
said, falling
teenager who
asleep
no
on
one
top of a half
understands.
desiccated Grim is maybe not the way to spend your nights.
First of all, again, props to Josh because we finally got to see what he was talking about in terms of like if you thought Tyrion was crazy before, wait till you see him. And I was expecting him to like come back swinging to attack our heroes. I wasn't expecting this just off his rocker temper tantrum.
I mean, I figured his last scene would be back with the evil League of Evil because of the whole she'll forgive you, running off into the night like Gollum.
It's gonna be fine.
So I'm not surprised that this was his final scene in the season. I was very perturbed at how it went down. That's some real good VO, y'all.
I loved the performance, but I'm not gonna lie. Seeing Tyrion just continually punch a Grimm in the face, I immediately thought of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's dressed up like Krusty the Clown and he's beating up that other actor, and the kids just yelling, "Stop it!
He's
already dead."
I like how we watched Tyrion evolve.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't have it. I hope that now that his tail is gone, either one, it'll regenerate, or two, it for some reason, for science purposes, and we'll just say science, he can now spit the venom from his tail. He can now because why
So
not?
he's kind of a sprinkler then.
Yeah. Funky ass sprinkler. All about it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Although that being said, it like right before he has his temper tantrum though, he does beg for forgiveness. And Salem, she again a very interesting leadership style. You know, it's the I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. It's literally the parental I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And that is what is truly devastating. Although she says something very interesting, and I'm not quite sure how to take it. When after he's begged for forgiveness, she said the third eye is blinded, or like the third eye has been blinded, or something like that.
The third eye?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then she turns to him and she's like, "You disappoint me." So I'm like, what does that mean? Is she just talking metaphorically, or since she has a giant eye, like as a design on her back, is she talking about like a literal spiritual eye somewhere that she no longer can see?
I'm kind of going Norse mythology for this one because, and I am gonna butcher these names. Odin was missing an eye, but he had two ravens. Hunin and Moonin. I'm not good at this.
Right. That sounds right.
I know how they're spelled, but I cannot say them. Who were basically his sight beyond sight. He could look through their eyes.
They're his eye of Thundera.
Yeah, and so the idea of, oh yeah, that's okay, Crow is dead, is, oh, well, they've lost their eyes.
Oh.
This alliance that we've been fighting against has lost their very subtle, able to change form and fly around and see things mostly undetected, eye in the sky. Except he's not dead. Yay!
I like that interpretation of the line. I think that actually sounds really plausible.
And also, both crow and raven's symbols resemble eyes.
That's true.
And so if you put them together, it looks like a set of eyes.
And there's some argument as to whether it's the left eye or the last eye.
I would have to rewatch it again. There wasn't an option for subtitles.
Yeah, we get a little spoiled watching with subtitles here. So it's like, all right, so Netflix or DVD. We're going to need to do that before we get the transcript.
Or YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Don't they do closed captioning for YouTube?
I feel like they
So
do.
next week. They do it for other shows.
Uncertain.
Apparently, it's hilarious watching. It's fun watching one of the shows. I don't remember. I think also in 11 Little Roosters they have some stuff in the captions.
Where there are some jokes thrown in there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of studios do that. That's fun. Okay, so and yeah, that's sort of where we leave the Evil League of Evil. Is that like we until we get to the very end anyway. Just kind of Cinder's continuing her training. Tyrion's disappointed mom, but it hasn't been punished at least yet.
Watching Cinder watch Tyrion and just quietly regret her life's decisions was one of my favorite parts of the episode. Not gonna lie, she's just like, what did I get myself into here?
Yeah, it's the difference
I
between
miss Roman.
It's the difference between somebody who signed up for this program thinking she was going to get a career mentorship versus seeing somebody who signed up for it because they're a religious zealot.
Yeah, world's worst internship.
Yeah,
I don't care if I'm getting college credit or not. This sucks.
What if you get the power of like the maidens, dude?
I don't know.
Would you take the internship for the power of the maidens?
We're getting into a different show. This isn't $1 Million Bot. This is Ruby. But, dude, not about it. Not about that life.
No, not at all.
Ugh.
So yeah, let's talk about that Nucklevy fight for a little bit. I agree with you. I loved the callback to the beginning of the season. I think that makes for a perfect bookend.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the way they left episode 11 with everyone going, Ren, what is it? What is it? And him just freaking out and then cutting to very close shots of the Grimm made it look like he was hallucinating it.
Yeah.
Like no one else could see. And I know that wasn't the case, and it's going to play better when we watch it through as a movie, but for those few moments and then ending the episode, it was like, are you seeing things? Is it actually there? What is this editing decision?
I thought it was an odd cut. Yeah,
Very,
for sure.
very.
And I'm assuming it was an animation budget thing because the following episode, we did, for the finale, we got this really great fight, and even when we're not in the fight later on in the episode, if you're just looking at like characters' expressions, they're really great. Like when Ruby is saying, "We made it, Uncle Crow," like that is probably some of the most beautiful emotional animation we've seen on that character.
Mm-hmm.
And just both Blake and her mom, the ears movement.
Yeah, no, again, lots of subtle detail. So I think that cut in particular was probably just like, and guys, we are nitpicking. We are nitpicking for sure. It is not really something to complain about all that much.
I mean, we can sit here and say it's odd.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, it's terrible, I didn't like it. Not true. It was just kind of one of those things where it was like,
Nerf, are you there? That's really close to Nerf. That was awesome. And also, quick update.
That's my angry internet voice. It's relatively close to shit.
Relatively accurate. Quick update for anybody watching live or not. Patrick's plane had some technical malfunctions, and they got rerouted several times, so he will not be joining us today. Unfortunately, the team is not complete today, but he has just landed, and he is safe. So make sure to tweet at P to the D's. Let him know that you care about him, that you miss him on the show, and hopefully we'll get to see him soon.
I am so sorry to hear that. I will take one for the team, and I will drink his whiskey for him.
Plane malfunctions are
I think we're going to
terrifying,
fight
though.
about that. No, see, we're just going to put a little bit in each one.
There we go. That
why
that
not?
sounds fair. That's
Because we're not pouring one out over all this technology.
No.
No.
These mics are too expensive, guys.
I think my two favorite things about the fight were Ren being uncharacteristically reckless.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because that showed how important this was to him, and Nora having to bring him down. Another nice little moment and nod back to the flashback.
And just how utterly traumatized he was by all of this. Like, things that he has not dealt with yet.
Not again.
Yep.
I even think he said that. Yeah, he said that.
He did. And when he was running up to the village, it was not again, not again, not again. And I think probably my favorite was just this moment where, he sees, Nora as a young girl again, the way they met. Like, they're having this conversation in the spot where he saved her and gave her the hammer, and it was just
Parallelism.
It was so good. I don't remember who it was, but somebody commented that it was a very Satoshi Kon thing to do, to blink, seeing her, as her younger self, and then blinking, and it's this, who she's grown up to be right in front of him.
The other thing that I loved is how forward-thinking Jean Arc is. Most of these people are turning their weapons into guns. He turned his sword into a bigger sword. That's next level. He's a
He has gun
trendsetter.
capabilities.
He doesn't have a slot for guns.
He does not.
So yeah, I really liked his upgrade. It was super
Real
cool.
quick, before we lose this comment in the chat, apropos of nothing, Becca Dearkin says, Neo has been more or less confirmed for Volume 5, according to the RTX Sydney Ruby panel.
Ooh.
Pictures or it didn't happen? Someone please get us the exact lines.
The
I just
stream's
wanted
there.
to throw that out there before we lost it.
The stream's out there.
This is
Okay.
true.
Yeah.
Great.
Speaking of that stream, when you had mentioned the Belladonnas, they had commented about utilizing both sets of Blake's ears at one point in the future.
That's awesome.
For what? Who knows? But yeah.
Chad is also calling Jean's sword. Not unlike the gun.
It's a sword. That's also a sword.
But we know
We
that
are in Mighty Magiswords territory here.
we do know that
little
they're
bit, yeah, a
they're
little
fans of double names like Ciel Soleil, Sun
That's
Sun.
Yeah.
So yes, I think swords.
No, Ciel
perfectly
Soleil
apropos.
is Sky Sun.
Sky Sun. Okay.
I do kind of like it.
haven't had
I
that
speak
yet.
French.
I like the idea of it being a Magisword. that makes me happy a little bit. But I really liked this moment too when he gets Crow to safety, and Crow, no dialogue, just takes hold of his hand for a moment, and you don't need any dialogue. Like, you get everything that is happening emotionally speaking just from that, and that is good animation, guys, and good storytelling. You don't have to convey everything through dialogue. Just that one handhold was enough to be like, please protect her. Like, that's all.
I'm so glad they switched engines. Oh my God, Poser could not have handled any of this.
Oh, the Nucklevy specifically.
The Nucklevy, the very subtle emotions, some of the movements. Again, back to the cat ears. That we didn't get that in the first 3 seasons.
Just talking
so
about
good.
movement, we should talk about how the Nucklevy moves. It is the coolest thing, guys.
I mean, you
That
say
it was
that.
Stretch Armstrong from hell.
Yes,
That
it's
it
evil
basically-
Stretch Armstrong.
Like, we're watching it going, okay, it has to have some sort of distance move because there's no way it could have killed people. Look at that thing, helicopter. Okay,
And then-
that's what happened.
And
the sonic scream.
yes, so good. Don't do that. But
as close as I get.
You guys have talked about how, like, how much like boss fights a lot of these grim battles are, and this did very much feel like an epic boss fight.
It's like a Kingdom Hearts boss fight right here.
Yeah,
That's what it reminded me
less
of.
button mashing and a little bit more strategy being
If it
implemented.
was just the low angle behind everybody, then it would feel like a Kingdom Hearts puzzle.
Okay, KH3D without the cute animals.
But I love the Nucklevy. I love getting to see it in its full, not glory, but horror. And it just,
Glorer.
6 of one, half a dozen of the
I
other.
I like that.
Glory.
And it just hits. It's just such a unique decision in terms of what kind of grim to do. And if this is what we're getting in volume 4, when we're only just now getting to see the rest of the world, I am #Glorer. Nice. Thank you, Steve.
I was impressed. Malachroma points out, imagine it doing that to a village full of people without aura protecting them from high impact strikes. Yeah, that's a lot of broken ribs and spines right there.
Well,
and then
yeah,
when
and
we were
impervious to like regular weapons like bows and arrows and things like that.
And we were impressed when we were at RTX and saw the preview with the silverback, with the gorilla grim. And that was the tip of the iceberg.
It really
just
was.
like, this is amazing. I love this gorilla. Oh my God. And then we get out here and Jim and Randall show up like, okay, all right, we're done.
We got the gorilla, we got the Geist, we got the dragon, and we got the Nucklevy. Guys, we got spoiled when it comes to grim this season.
And this is the part 1 of this trilogy, of this middle trilogy.
So exciting.
It's going to get crazier from
Did
here.
they say that it was 3 seasons for this middle part?
I'm assuming it is in terms of parallelism. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's
Well, Act 1
that's
is
just
usually
what I'm rolling with.
Act 1 and Act 3 are usually the shortest.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Because there's been no confirmation as to how many seasons they're going to get.
And they're but didn't we, when we were talking to JJ, didn't he mention he and Monty talked about season 14?
They talked about like season 9 for sure.
Really quickly in the chat, Arlen said this because I thought exactly. It's literally sticky hands.
Yeah!
Stuck to the wall, and then you can't peel them off.
Yeah, I got hit in the eye with a sticky hand once when I was a kid. So
I'm sorry.
I'm traumatized for sure.
Donovan Willett in chat brings up, I wonder if the Nucklevy was a unique grim. And I say, once you have a character model, you use the hell out of that character model.
Use those assets.
So, I doubt it.
I
severely doubt it.
the idea of like the scariest thing about this thing is that it's one of many. That would be interesting.
I think
And my favorite current exchange in chat is, Ren's dad was kind of hot, followed by, he's dead.
He's dead now.
I thought you were going to go with Ren's dad as Hanzo. But what I think is going to happen is it took so much to take this down and any of the other Grim down. And whenever we get to Grimtown, whenever we get to Salem's Keep,
The little
The
dragon.
Con?
yeah, the little Dragon Continent. Dragon Con. Whenever we get to Dragon Con, Sam's gonna be like, "Yo, what up?" and just spawn tons of them, and they're like, "Well, it took 4 of us to take one down." Boom! Super dope.
This was a good game,
Jim and
everyone.
Randall, and I'm expecting the Water Dragon, and I'm expecting more Kevins, and I like they get there, it's gonna be a boss run.
Salem, more Kevins.
It's been an honor serving with you all.
I am fully expecting a boss run to be part of them showing up in hell.
Yeah, 100%. So, and yeah, just ultimately, this fight is the closure that Ren needs to finally be able to move on from his past. So I thought it was really, really great. Any other comments on this fight and on the development that we get between Ren and Nora?
If you want to hear from the Nuclevi's mouth about the development between Ren and Nora, you should probably check out our interview with Sam Ireland. We recorded it yesterday. Wonderful human being. Got a chance to sit down with us. We talked about Ruby most of the time, but we also talked about Camp. We talked about Day 5. A lot of projects that she's working on personally. It was just awesome talking with her, and it's unlike our usual interviews where it's like, I can't say. It was like, oh, it's over. I can finally talk about this stuff.
Finally talk about how great this is.
Absolutely awesome. Make sure to check it out. But my initial reaction was, the internet's gonna freak out. Like that was it. I'm happy that it wasn't something like, come here, you. It was subtle. It was something small. It was something cute, and just an acknowledgement, and not. And hopefully, it's not like season 1. They're like skipping and holding hands as they're on their way to see the wizard. Who knows? Sorry, Oscar.
Maybe he'll finally get that haircut from Ruby Chibi. That'll be great. Katie,
yes, Patrick is watching live. Hi, friends.
Hi, Patrick.
Patrice.
Patrick, let the live chat know how you feel about this the season finale and about the Nuclevi.
If you can, pop into the live chat. Talk with us, dude. We want your opinions. Yeah, God, this development was pitch perfect for them.
Yeah, it was a wonderful beat to end the season on, for sure.
Yes.
All right.
And actually getting backstory. And I don't know if we're ever going to get Nora's "where did you come from and why are you here?" very small child backstory, but I think I can live without it.
I disagree. I want to know.
I'm going to die if I don't see it.
But
cannot live without
We do
it.
have other things to talk about, but really quickly, I want to talk to you guys about iTunes. Folks, thank you so much for everybody who's gone to iTunes to rate, subscribe, leave a comment. We love hearing from you, and it's the best way to let our producers know you guys like the show that we're putting on, and we'll give you a shout out on the show if you do.
Such as this wonderful new review that we got from Philomori on February 4th. Always insightful and entertaining. The RWBY After Show is a blast. When they have guests, it's amazing, and they're always good interviewers. When they don't have guests, they're amazing and a blast to listen to. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who left a new review this season.
You guys are so great. It's the best.
You are good people, and people say nice things about you.
That was the only one we got.
Okay.
Also, please continue to leave the reviews, and if you leave one in an iTunes store that is not the American iTunes store, or if you leave it in the podcast feature of Google Play, please screen cap that, throw it in the hashtag. We do want to see those.
Okay. Now we got a lot to get through and not a lot of time left. Yang, I love the paint job she gave herself for the new arm and the new gauntlet. It makes me so happy that she's going and that she got to say goodbye to her dad, and as opposed to just leaving without a note. Question: she going to see Ruby? She going to see Raven? Which one? I think Ruby.
She took a right at the fork that said to Mistral.
It looked like she was going to Mistral, but they didn't actually show which
ambiguity.
way.
They didn't actually show us where she was going.
I agree with you,
it's
though.
Just, you're in trouble when I find you. Pan up to the sign.
But the shot implied, without breaking the fourth wall, the shot implied that she was going to the right.
The composition of the shot indicated that she went to Mistral.
What pissed me off the most is that she was on a boat, the same boat, that took Blake, and I went, she found her! Oh, she's in trouble. But then we got to the sign, I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
That was my knee-jerk reaction, too. Oh, she went to Menage. Nope.
No.
Although, it was nice to see those two again, definitely for sure. And I'm sure at one point he walked up to Yang as well, because he's like, oh, people traveling alone are so interesting.
She probably talked his ear off.
And then the crew pulls out all their weapons, ready for whatever is going to come next.
I just need the two of them sitting somewhere and drinking and exchanging stories.
Oh, that would be so great. So yeah, let's talk about Blake. And she finally explains to Sun why she chose to leave, and it's because she blames herself for the suffering that her friends have undergone. And I want to know, what did you guys think of his response? Because I thought it was perfect.
He's a nice boy.
Yes, that was a perfect response, and it's applicable to real life, y'all. Real life morals. You cannot choose your importance in other people's lives. You just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still hot, not as useless.
It was probably...
But let's be real, the name's gonna stick.
Oh, sure.
It was the sweetest thing he's ever said and done. And again, it was great for her development too. For somebody who has a very skewed sense of self-worth, it was really nice that she was finally able to forgive herself with his help. And her parents are just the cutest things.
I love them both so much.
I
don't have words for how
hope
much I like Kira and Kali. They are wonderful.
I think they're great. And I really like that Blake has decided she's going to stop running away, and that her next step is taking back the White Fang.
That's a lot for two people to do.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The daughter of its original leader. That
But under new management.
still holds some sway.
It means taking on Adam Torres head on.
And possibly Shere Khan.
But here's the... Because
he's the current leader.
He's the current leader, but Adam's planning a coup, so it's like, is he planning on killing Shere Khan? Is that sort of the situation that we've got going on here?
Maybe.
Another question: if she does have to take on Adam head on, if peace is going to be the symbol of the White Fang henceforth, how can she take back its power with violence? That's a super hypocritical thing.
They never said they were going to take it back with violence. They just said we're taking it back.
But I imagine that all of the violent people are going to want it to be the way it is. So how do you take back a violent organization without the use of violence?
I feel like you just don't start the violence. One of those don't start the fight, end it.
They didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world's been turning.
I've never heard that before. But
Of course not.
Steve, I swear to goodness. But I think if anything, they're gonna put a message out into the world like, hey, the real White Fang is coming back to take down this violent thing, and either they're gonna use her father's influence to find old members to come back, but I think she's gonna build a movement as well.
I like that. So let's move on back to Atlas.
Also, Sienna Khan, not Shere Khan.
Sienna,
Yeah.
Well, he's basically
Based on Shere Khan, let's be real.
But yeah, let's move on over to Atlas, where Weiss is making her escape. I personally wouldn't have chosen heels to make an escape in.
Or at least walk
Seriously?
down the carpet in the middle of the floor, but...
I mean, she did.
What the hell is that?
Wear flats.
I did want to pose this question because she basically, with Klein's help, she basically bribes a guard to take her off to go see Winter after locking Ironwood and her father in his office.
Now kiss.
Which I'm not a fan of what Ironwood thinks is the solution, which is closing off Atlas's borders. I'm very concerned, Ironwood. We need to have a discussion about this because I still like him.
Who's gonna pay for it? Sorry.
But
7 minutes in political
But
hell.
I wanted to ask the table, if you guys were making an escape from the Schnee Manor, how would you do it?
Not in heels.
Oh, I thought if how would we do a better escape than Weiss?
Yeah.
The easiest thing, if I was Weiss, I would put glyphs under my feet so that I'd be quiet. If I wanted to make the fashion choice of high heels, at least it would be damn quiet. Or use the gravity ones to get you up to the roof and whatever.
There you go. I
feel like recruiting Klein and then having him help is the best way to go about it. And someone commented in our reaction video that Whitley calling Klein and making him do whatever at Dark 30 gave him an alibi.
Yeah.
Well, I was helping Master Whitley at that time. I didn't know anything.
And then I was immediately called to go and help Jacques, whatever his name is. Master Jacques.
The master of the house,
So-
to open a door.
Jack Master.
You'd think that Ironwood would just be able to punch a hole in like the adjacent wall and be like, "Oh, don't worry, guys, I got it." He broke his desk already.
We just see a fist through the door, and when the door opens, he's shirtless and half iron.
Here's
He's gonna-
Johnny.
Like Colossus in the X-Men game.
Nice.
I'm just imagining pulling out part of the middle. Here's Johnny.
I don't object to any of this. Either
Get
of
on
these
it,
are
fan
fun.
art community.
Please do. But for me, I would have wrecked some stuff if I wouldn't have taken the graceful way out. You know, she was very quiet and she was very, very, very subtle in her escape. And I would have taken documents. I would have wrecked some stuff. I would have thrown myself. I would have summoned the night, and then I would have wrecked some stuff. That would, and then
Batman?
I would have, yeah.
I like to imagine
knight.
that summon is just sitting in her room waiting.
Just like on the bed, just like.
No, just like standing
Waiting.
there at attention, waiting for the next poor asshole to open the
But
door.
Look at
more
this
importantly,
proximity.
I would have tried to get my hands on important, incriminating documents and then been like, boom, it's time to hold my family accountable.
I mean, I feel like there's nothing she can do, and so the objective is to get out of
Oh yeah,
Dodge
no,
first.
it's more important that she escaped. But I would have thrown myself a little bit of a party on my way out, so to speak.
I always hated that picture. Down.
I still have to wonder where Mom is.
Drunk.
Still drinking in the garden.
No, passed out drunk at this
Aw.
point. It's the middle of the night, guys. Either that or she's, just at the bar 24/7 and doesn't
Mommy
sleep.
needs a refill.
So, okay. I feel like that sort of does it for these two episodes.
Patrick says every good escape should involve a grappling hook.
Yes!
Period.
Grappling
hook!
highlights from Volume 4, guys.
Weiss.
Just her arc in general?
Like, I not to say that she's sort of been one note, but it's been slowly building, and the animation here, more subtlety in eyes and voice and everything. Kara put a hell of a performance into this character,
Oh, yeah.
and it brought her up to a level of like mastery when she became a Keyblade master this season. She got her mark of mastery, but yeah, I loved Weiss this
And
season.
her armor.
Yeah.
She got her summon.
Yes. More Kingdom by 2.8 today at your local GameStop. Anyway, 1.5, 2.5 coming soon. 3 never. But
Nope.
regardless, always Nora, forever Nora. But the entire show has just gone to a completely different level. I find it people who are just looking for something to complain about are like, what, the fights weren't as cool and this was like the show has reached a different echelon. It's a
Yeah.
completely different type of show now. We got to change with it. But congratulations to the Crewbie and everybody who worked on this show.
Absolutely. I was randomly thinking about Volume 2 earlier, and it made me very sad. I was like, oh, it's so different.
Indigo Leader pointed out we didn't talk about Watson Lionheart and we didn't talk about Crow and Oscar.
We didn't.
to hit those.
Let's hit those really quickly. I was kind of expecting Hazel to be on the train, sitting awkwardly next to Oscar.
Just watching. Or he walks up with a crappy mustache like, drink, sir.
But Watt's already beating them to Lionheart. Lionheart being described as something of a coward, and we know something is building from the other side of the fourth wall. We know the White Fang is going to go after this academy, and Lionheart is not a strong-hearted individual, and he's already got one of the evil League of Evil there going, hey, friend.
Putting his feet on the little tea, like right next to the little tea set that Ozpin gave him. He's just like
also
so disrespectful.
That is the Aaron Burr, I own the place pose.
Yeah.
But also saying Salem says you're very hospitable. So
Yeah.
that implies even more relation.
$10 says he's a lion, Faunus.
I mean, maybe, but
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going
now
with.
we got since we've got King Richard, I'm so stoked to see the character from the one-on-one fights that flashed through at the end of season 3. Rewatched that recently. Who is Robin Hood? Show up. I'm excited that we're probably going to be getting Robin Hood next season.
Yes.
Yes, please. I would like to think that since we have Glinda Goodwitch, we have the Cowardly Lion, we have the Tin Man, and we have Crow, who's I guess the Scarecrow. I would love it if one of the other headmasters was Dorothy. I think that would be fantastic.
That's the one in Haven?
Maybe, I don't know, or Vacuo, one of those.
Vacuo, that's, yes.
Hasn't it been determined that Tai Yang was the Cowardly Lion?
That
That's
was
what we
fan
thought.
theory.
That's
Okay.
what we thought, but Lionheart being somewhat of a coward and a headmaster, I feel like we can assume that he is the cowardly one.
Which
And
is
we
weird.
knew that.
But yeah, I don't know what that
Tin
makes
Man.
Tai Yang now.
But also Lionheart
Whoever
being
he
a
wants.
moniker for King Richard.
Yeah.
So that I think it can
I have
go
no
either way.
idea.
Or both.
I have no idea. Yeah, and that who's to say? I feel like Ruby can be both Dorothy and Little Red Riding Hood, but I would love if one of the headmasters was Dorothy as well.
Oh, I yes.
But
Need
yeah,
that in my life.
we have Oscar meeting Crow, who luckily recovered and getting his cane back.
I love feeling that moment of I'm getting to it.
Shut
Just
up,
like
I'm talking.
without the VO, he does look crazy.
He looks absolutely insane.
I love it. Just when did they have this conversation of, by the way, if I die, I'm probably going to reincarnate into someone else. So if they show up, it's me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's okay.
Oscar walks in going, "Yo, it me."
It me.
For me,
That's me.
Volume 4 highlight, definitely the Knucklevi. It hit all of my favorite horror movie buttons. Unique character design, strikes terror into the hearts of men. It makes me so happy.
That scared the blue and white hell out of me.
And that's one of the reasons why it made me so happy.
I know.
I'm a bad person.
We have video
All
proof
right,
of
guys,
that.
I feel like it's just about time to wrap up. Guys, let us raise a glass to Ruby Volume 4 and the Ruby crew, you guys, and to, of course,
And to the fans.
to
y'all.
All
Yeah.
of the guests that joined us this season.
For sure.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you to everybody. Cheers.
L'chaim.
Cheers.
Katie, where can people go if they want to keep up with you?
Ooh, the bar. I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on all of the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you want to watch Megan and I react to these episodes, the reaction video for the final episode goes up on Saturday because of the week delay. Later tonight, we have a special guest on Voltron that's 9 o'clock. You should join us. Arrow is on Wednesdays, and Rebels is coming back next Sunday.
Mark?
You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. You can find all of us at ABTV Rooster Team. Make sure to head to our YouTube channel, ABTV Rooster Team. There, notice these all blind box figures. My wife and I decided to buy an entire case of the blind boxes.
I was wondering.
Yeah,
They're so cute.
She needed this Y one. So I was like, you know what? We got a whole box. Let's figure this out. There is a pattern to them. If you're looking for a particular character, head over to ABTV Rooster Team on YouTube. Watch it because I made a little graphs and stuff so you can find what character they are. And we got Red vs. Blue coming back in the spring, and maybe some other stuff. Who knows? Make sure to follow us on Twitter at ABTV Rooster Team. That's where you'll get all of our updates. Also, the interview with Sam Ireland. Go check that out.
Go check that out. She's got so many cool projects coming up. Don't forget to follow Patrick at P to the D's on Twitter and check out his podcast, Pixel by Pixel. I'm Megan. You guys can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. Thank you so much, everybody, this season. We will see you all soon, I hope.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.